Hello, it's Sunday again, cooking with Lovie. We're gonna have dumplings today. It's cold weather's coming up on us. We have, I've already cooked the chicken breast. I've got the broth going, and I've tore up the chicken breast. I got it ready to go. And now we got to get our broth ready, which we got over here on the stove, cooking or heating up. It's getting hot. I stewed my chicken breast in chicken broth. Gives it more flavor. And so anyway, we'll get our broth ready and tear up the chicken, and then we'll be back in a few minutes with the dumplings. Getting the broth ready, add a can of cream of chicken soup, Campbell's cream of chicken soup. My mama always did that, and now I do it. But anyway, we're getting our broth ready. We'll salt it up, pepper it up, and get it ready for the dumplings. Get you back in a minute. Now I'm fixing to make the dumplings. I've cubed up a stick of butter to about 2 or 3 cups of flour, and I use self-rising. Then you just cut up the butter in the flour, and I will add milk. And once this is all blended in, I'll add the milk, of course, and then I'll spread out some flour here, and I will roll it out, and I'll cut in the dumplings to the mix. Sort of like making biscuits, but I'm just going to use regular milk instead of buttermilk. And we'll be back in a minute. Now we're ready to put in the milk. I've cut up the butter into the flour. We'll put in the milk, and just sort of like you're making biscuits. I'm not measuring, so we just have to go by feel. We'll mix it in this bowl. This old bowl is Danny's mother's bowl. This is what she made her biscuits in, and it's untelling how old it is. You don't see this type of material around anymore. But anyway, we're looking for the consistency of biscuit dough. And I think I'm pretty much there, I believe. Get this out of my way. Okay, now scatter your flour all over the countertop, and then take this out. Put this out on top of it. And look at this old bowl. These, it's like leaving a dumpling in there. Okay, now put some flour on my hands and over the top. Just sort of like making biscuits. Okay, now we'll work up half of them, set the other one aside, and then we'll make some more. Just press it out. A lot of people use a dough roller, but I just use my hands. broth is almost ready. I'm going to add a little pepper, and we'll put in a little salt, and then stir it up. And she's boiling up there. And now we're going to add some dumplings. Let's see if I can get some more of these out. Some people like fluffy dumplings. We tend to like the flat ones better. Okay. Drop them down in there. Together. Okay. When you first put in your dumplings, the broth should be boiling, and you just put a few at a time. You let them cook. You don't stir them. You just sort of float them down in the water with a wooden spatula, and just let them sit there a little bit, and then we'll go back over and we'll cut up some more dumplings and we'll add them to it. Now we drop some more dumplings in, and whenever you do, it does cool down the broth. So you get your dumplings in place, you drop it in, and then take your spoon and gently submerge them. And it'll come back to a boil. And if it gets to boiling too hard, you want to turn it down. But don't stir them. Just let them cook in the broth. Sometimes they'll stick together. So, and I don't feel any sticking on the bottom. Sometimes that happens. So, anyway, looks like they're getting the boil a little too hard, so I'm going to turn it down a tad. And we'll be back in a minute. Okay, it keeps growing and growing. We've got more than half the dumplings made and in there. And then I check on the bottom to make sure occasionally that it's not sticking. Just handle them gently, put them in, make a hole for them. They'll continue cooking in that broth. And it's funny, when these are done, they'll sort of shrink a little bit. I say, wow, is that all the dumplings it made? But anyway, we have this many left that hasn't got submerged yet. And then what flour is here, I don't worry about shaking it off so much because it'll help thicken the gravy. And if it gets too thick, then we will just add a little more broth to it. But I cooked my chicken yesterday. I got boneless, skinless chicken breast, and I cook it in chicken broth. There's not as much fat in it. Now, when my grandmother, my Mom Ford, made chicken and dumplings, when you ask her, you say, Mom Ford, how you make those dumplings? She'd say, well, first of all, you start out with a big fat hen. And she'd go out in the yard and she'd pick her out a big fat hen and she'd get it ready. And it was scary to see what they did to them chickens when we was little, but they sure did taste good. We don't have many more, so this is what we have. And this is the very last dumpling going in. As you can see, it looks like it's pretty well packed, and it is. We'll put the very last dumpling in. I've got them all submerged, and then I'm going to cut the heat down very low, and I'm going to put the top on. I'll put the top on and let them cook just a little bit, and then we'll add the shredded up chicken in a minute. And now I've had these cooking for about probably 5 minutes, and I think they're done. I'm ready to add the chicken. I just pulled off all the anything that wasn't chicken. And this will cool it down and stop the dumplings from cooking. But they're ready to eat. But we'll put the lid back on them, let them sit here and kind of absorb some of the goodness in it. Okay, the dumplings have set for a while and they're ready to eat. They're still very hot. So I'm gonna stir them up. I'm gonna stir them up a little bit, and I'm gonna sample them. We'll see how they taste. They're good.